If I was just honest with them, things probably would have went better. So this was about 5 years ago, and I found myself thinking back on it today. I was living in a new area, looking at a job with better pay than what I was getting. I somehow applied for an indoor horticulture facility downtown. They grew vegetables and microgreens in an indoor vertical garden on a pretty decent scale, but it was still a small business. It was super close to home and right up my alley, because after all, I already know all about this stuff. I had been growing weed, vegetables, microgreens, succulents, cacti, and even mushrooms, mostly weed though, for years at that point. I would be great there. So I sent a resume or whatever. A few weeks later, I get a call. They asked if I was available and wanted to do an interview. They asked if I was available now. Yeah, that'd be cool if I hadn't just eaten a gram of an extremely potent psychoactive mushroom that I also grew myself. It wasn't a very big dose, and I didn't even intend to take much more than a mood lift, but the strain was strong, and I don't think I had even tested it out yet. So I'm already kind of high, but for some reason I feel like I don't have a choice except to say yes. So I head up there. The owners were a super chill gay couple. We get to talking, and they ask what interests me about this line of work, if I have any experience, whatever. Except in order to remain professional, I cannot tell them that I happen to be very good at growing a bunch of weed. I mentioned some vegetables and other stuff I'd grown, kind of how I do it. The thing is, there aren't very many people who are growing fucking peppers in a nice indoor tent setup, and most gardeners can't tell you all that much about hydroponic systems. At one point, he just straight up says something along the lines of, "Do you grow weed?" In my mind, I just lost it. The glass broke. I was young and thought I was slick, and they wouldn't know. The mushroom I ate was also starting to hit pretty hard as I'm sitting there, trying to give this dude my best self. I said no, but I started getting pretty nervous after that while trying to explain everything I've grown, except drugs. I probably even stuttered a couple times. Longer story shorter, I started bombing the interview pretty bad as I started getting higher and feeling interrogated. I feel like if I had just been like, I have, but I like to think I'm pretty good at anything I grow, things would have went way, way better. I feel like these guys were cool enough that if I had even just been like, I ate a mushroom before you guys called, they might not have even cared, lol. Especially because the alternative is, considering this was a meth-fueled neighborhood and my pupils were probably getting progressively more dilated and me more nervous, I probably just made myself look like some shifty tweaker with a secret pot farm that I sell out of my house. Sometimes you just got to take a chance with the truth.